Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in Space Engineers. We are continuing on our refit of the Interstellar Transport. Um, the last couple of episodes we've been doing various things, including investigating. So I think with this episode we are actually going to start into the building process, which is really to say getting everything refit and working again. So how are we going to do that? Well, we've got a lot of stuff to take care of here. So I am going to try and figure out a good methodology. So these outside ones here are all part of the framing. And then there were oxygen generators interspersed throughout this section. So what I'm going to do is replace some of these areas with conveyor junctions. The real question is, I guess I need to figure out how many. This is the outer on this side. Okay. So all of these are. So there were 4 sections of oxygen generators here. So I just have to figure out how to do these sections, and there were 3 in here before. I just have to figure out how to make them all work again. So that goes down to that one, so undoubtedly so that's the top up here. See, the challenge here is just figuring out what was here and repairing it. That oxygen tank, what the heck is that? I truly have no idea what that is. Get myself lost in here again. Alright, so red. Alright, so there's my starboard side. I have to go all the way around to this side. So we had tanks. So are these just tanks? Hydrogen tanks? No, they can't be hydrogen tanks because that's what they are. That's these guys. That's that center yeah, that's the center port on the back. Okay. That makes sense now. So this is obviously a process of learning on all sides. I ended up on the completely wrong side. So then this connection is tank to yep, that's what that is. So that is the thruster right there. And so this is another thruster right here. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, and as I look, these are actually in the center. So a little misleading in where everything is. So, let us, I was thinking I would be building my way out, which may actually still be the case. So my planning here is, where do I need to set the first oxygen generator? I need my interconnectivity, so here's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, which would then leave connections in the back here. Okay. So I think we are ready. So let me plan my. So we don't need that. This. Okay, so what we need is oxygen generator, which is there. We need our conveyor tubes. That should be all we need for this entire evolution. So what I'm gonna do is build my way backwards, I think. So we need a conveyor junction here. Trying to make these all right set up there, and it's probably pointless because this is the starboard. Okay, so this is up, I think. So it really, truly doesn't matter. All right. So then on this opposite side, I need one of those. So this is the, okay, so this is the forward part of the thrusters assembly, the rear thrusters assembly. So conveyor there. Conveyor here as well, but I need to hook these into something, but conveyor first and figure out how to hook it all together later. To realize, of course, T, which doesn't do anything but screw you up. Alright, and then what is that? It's just an up. So truly understanding how all this stuff works and comes together is where the challenge is going to be. Alright, so let us put a conveyor. So that hydrogen tank is actually offset from this one. I wonder why that is. Okay, so we need a conveyor here. Freezing once again. Oh, an oxygen generator is still here. There's not one on the other side, I don't think. No, not one on that side. This is confusing just because of the sheer area here, and knowing what's in the area and what isn't in the area. We need a conveyor there, and subsequently a conveyor here. That is already connected to a conveyor there. It's already connected to the tank there. So this is kind of all redundant stuff. And conveyor here. So my intention will be to connect all of these various systems up. So there's connector, connect. And then I have to get myself out of there, otherwise I will have trapped myself. 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this connects the ends of the tanks all together so far. So this needs to have a, can't connect into there, but because we want to come up to this level, we need a, ultimately we need a conveyor right here. Because this will ultimately connect our oxygen generators into the world. So I need 4 of these because there should be 4 oxygen generator sets. And I just screwed that up because I can't get down to there. So, but I could actually interconnect all of these. An oxygen generator. How about a conveyor? Well, why I don't... Oh, because the reactors are up there. This whole area is deceptively large, and it's not 4, it's 9. With the generators, sorry, the reactors in the center. So if I wanted to be entirely interconnected, which I do, I like over-engineering everything. 0. The lag is horrendously annoying when you get a lot of stuff. So you can hear the key clicks, that's when I actually do something, and then you see it's like half a second later when something occurs. Right, so what else do I need to do here? So ideally would be one there, and then that there. So these are entirely meshed together. Okay, so one, then conveyor, and working my way upwards. So we have a conveyor tube and a conveyor junction there. So this should be 5 junctions, yes? Yes. Alright, and we should end up with a similar 5 junctions. I guess we don't really need... Yeah, because if I want to intermesh, then this does need to be a junction there, a junction there, and a junction there, and a junction there. This would be entirely intermeshed. Alright, so let's back out of there. Conveyor tube goes there, conveyor tube there, conveyor tube there, and there. How about there? Oh, and I just blocked off my my passage here. I don't know if I can fit through here or not. Yes, barely. Alright. And of course, I need to put a conveyor here. This is why it's more convenient to just build in spectator mode. Alright, so that's there. I just want to make sure all of those are there, which they are. here. And so there's a conveyor tube there, conveyor tube there, and conveyor tube here. Of course I'm in the way. Why wouldn't I be in the way? So that should go there. So now we should have a conveyor there. Conveyor for that. So all of these are interconnected. What I'm envisioning here is there's a big difference between Kenti oxygen generators and other generators. Okay, I was building my way up, right? Keeping myself oriented as to where I am in all this is really kind of crazy. Alright, so this is the next tier, which will have conveyor junction there. Which in this case will also have, a conveyor tube, a conveyor junction, and a conveyor tube. This corner will be a conveyor junction, which will feed that bank of oxygen generators, which means we need a conveyor tube there, which will come across to this conveyor junction. But there's also another junction there, which means this is a conveyor junction, then back to a tube. So that's the intermesh in this corner for that portion. Figuring out all of this. So in this corner will be another junction. Which means tube. Continuing on in the same venue, and we will have a conveyor tube there. There will be a junction there. 1, 2, 3. As I'm slowly building my way out here. I just have to figure out this space is deceptively large. Here, this one will be coming across. There will be there's already a tube there, so this is a conveyor junction. There's a tube, and a tube. I just have to figure out how to do this without trapping myself in here. So likewise, there will be a conveyor junction here and here, which means a tube here and here, and then conveyor junctions all along here. Ooh, yeah. So slowly figuring, I'm kind of working my way to the center here. Alright, so I think everything down below is done, if I can see it. I believe so. Hard to see. Yes, so here's what we have. That's a conveyor tube, a conveyor junction, and a conveyor tube. Alright, intermeshed. The reactor is in the way here, so this is a single conveyor junction, conveyor tube, which intermeshes. Conveyor tube, and then this one comes through, and that one. Alright. And then I slowly work my way this way. And this becomes a conveyor junction and a tube, which brings me into this section. Turn that off so I can figure out where the hell I am. Which is a conveyor junction and a tube. Okay, I think we are entirely intermeshed now. So let me go through the hole here. Alright, ideally would be I have the same kind of interconnecting mesh back here, but I'm not going to be able to do that because all the thrusters are back here. I mean, I can, but they're going to be a little different as far as all of that goes. So The question is, how many generators do we actually put in here? Now, all of these hydrogen tanks are interconnected. So this was originally a support matrix for the oxygen generators. So because it's a little bit redundant, I'm going to pull that out, which will give me a little more working room, mostly because I need to be able to see where I am. So there should be 9 2 areas. This is my outer section. Gone. I shouldn't actually do that, but alright, so going through here, this should be the outer section here. So I guess these are staggered. There are 2 on the outside on each axis, and then 1 in the center. Here would be the 2 outer ones again, and actually maybe 3, without being outside, and I mean it'll be really obvious from the outside. That got removed with that. Because I can actually see the thrusters. So effectively we have an oxygen generation cell array in all of the areas between the thrusters. So as I'm working my way across here, so the question is, do I want to stack? I was thinking, so they're 3 deep, we knew that. And what I mean by 3 deep is I can put, oh, I hate the lag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 blocks here, not counting the space that I'm in right now. Which ultimately will be 3 oxygen generators end to end. So if I were to think about things in terms of total space management here, I could actually put a crisscross of 3 wide and 3 lengthwise, and actually do another set on top. Now the set on top, the challenge is going to be I would have to have conveyor here and conveyor junction here to connect those, because otherwise they would not be connected, because there's those side ports on the oxygen generator, but there are not side ports on all 4 sides. There's only side ports on 2 sides. The question is, how many do we need? So we have an array of 9 oxygen generators in every single one of these spaces, which in the end is going to end up being a whole lot of oxygen generators. Now, will they keep up? No. But so can't go up there because that's outside. So the last layer is here. Delete. And then through this hole, and we should find a similar grid here. Yes. Delete. Alright, so my concept is a grid of 9 oxygen generators in every one of these cells, and then ultimately interconnected via a similar grid as to what's in the other end. Now the other end has a much more elaborate grid than this end will, but ultimately, because they all connect in that back, I think they'll be fine. It's kind of going to be a little bit redundant to have connections in the front as well. So now it's just a matter of planning and figuring out. So the ports are on the side, and it doesn't really matter in this case where they end up, as long as they're connected side to side. So 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, lag, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So with that, I can now put a conveyor there and get myself out of this corner. So what I need to do is a tube and then a conveyor junction. Okay, and then even though that section is now blocked off, it's actually blocked off because I'm done over there. So we're going to do the same thing here. If everything is equal, then those are still facing the correct way. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. 3. Okay, and now that that is done, then I will actually come downwards, and we need to do two things. We need a tube, and then a junction, and then that one's done. So we come down 1, and we add a tube and a junction, and then that whole upper section is done. Oops, except for this, which we can do the same thing on this side. So we have a conveyor tube, and conveyor junction. All right. So this will be the last one I do, and the reason that's the last one I do is because that's kind of my exit point. So let me come all the way over to this side and do that again. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I'm in the way, 3. Center last, I guess. Okay, so 2. We're going to put a conveyor junction there and a conveyor junction there, and ultimately where I am. So a conveyor tube goes there, and a conveyor tube goes there. And I back away, and a conveyor tube. So, then we have, alright, so that one is, so that one's done. That one will be the last one, so I might as well do this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Go downwards again. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is a junction goes there, and a tube goes there, a tube goes there, a tube goes there, and then a conveyor junction. Back down a little bit, and a tube goes there, and junction here. Alright, so if all is equal, this is done. Yes. That one is done. Yes. And that one is not done. So we'll do that one. So, number 2, we have a conveyor junction there. We have a conveyor tube there, a conveyor tube there, and a conveyor tube there, and a conveyor junction here. Then as we back down through the hole, so we have effectively completed, make sure I did that, yes, conveyor junction in there. So it's a conveyor tube, I can't spin the mouse wheel the right direction to save my life. And then we look over this way. Yep, and that's my escape there. Alright. So, let us go all the way over here. Alright. So, oops, we did not take pieces out from this one. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I just want to look up and make sure I've got them. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 3. Conveyor tube, conveyor junction. Oops, I'm kind of... alright. And there's nothing else down here, right? So I don't actually need another conveyor tube. So this is all done. So this is a conveyor tube and a conveyor junction, which then connects all that. So I should have 2 sections. Didn't get this one either. Alright, so 2 more. That one is done. Where is... Alright, well, uh-oh. I oopsed. Conveyor junction. And conveyor tube. Conveyor tube. Proof of how big this space actually is. everything down. So I will build my way across and then up. Or should I just do it all at once? All at once, huh? Alright. 2. Junction. 2. Nothing on that side, so there is a conveyor junction here. So that is now connected up. We have a conveyor tube and then a conveyor junction. And that becomes my escape right there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So as I work my way up, probably a lag issue there. Alright, so we have a conveyor tube, a conveyor junction, a conveyor tube, and a conveyor junction. Wow, just remembering where all the different holes happen to be. Alright, so let us, that's there, that's there. So I've got oxygen generators and oxygen generators, so, and I put all these in sideways, but so be it. I suppose it does not really matter. Okay, so we have everything there, so I work my way out this way. So we have conveyor tube. There's a conveyor tube there, a conveyor tube there, a conveyor tube there, and a conveyor junction here. A conveyor tube and a conveyor junction. Alright, we'll do that last. Oxygen generators. So 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, did they all actually build? Yes, they did. Alright, so 2 conveyor tube, which is 1, 2, 3 tubes. Then we do a conveyor junction. We do a conveyor tube, conveyor junction. Alright, and my hole is right there. So I go up after this one. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we have a conveyor tube, a conveyor junction, a conveyor tube, conveyor junction. Yep, put them all sideways. I'm an idiot. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have a conveyor tube, and a conveyor junction. And this is the corner now. So what we should be able to do is, in every single one of these center junction points, we should have a cell, if you will, of oxygen generators. So you can kind of look in there. So we see that one there. We see that one there. They will not be, I don't think, on the outside. So there's one there, one there. Alright, so now we're 3 across. So there's one there. One there. One there. And one there. The next one. There. That's that one. And that one. There. And there. Okay, looks like we got them all. So, theoretically, we can rebuild this section, which should be a lattice work. Yep, there's one just cube there, and then a slope. So it's a cube and a slope that holds everything together, which we can see here as well. Okay, so that was on number 6. Yes, it was. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we are 7 for slopes, and should be able to. Yep. Same thing here. Save ourselves a little bit of time. All right. So our aft portion now is complete. Up to the hydrogen tanks here. And all this should be already plumbed through. We see that these guys have lit off because they have a hydrogen supply now. And the only thing I do not know is, do we have a hydrogen interconnector here? And the answer is no, we do not. So the question is, how do we make all this happen? So the only way I can think of to make this happen is to actually kind of bore a hole through, and then we'll seal it up on the way out. So that one goes, that one goes, and structurally I don't think I'm going to have an issue, so I'm going to go all the way across. And the reason I'm going to go all the way across, actually I don't need to go further than here. I am going to interconnect all of these. So we have 3 wide and 1 tall, right? So for this one, I'm going to bring it down. I think I'm going to use a conveyor junction just because kind of a semblance of strength here. And I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm going to do 2 of them in a row just for this pseudo strength, which there really isn't. And then we'll connect this in. So we have this one down here, which we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to put the 1 junction there. Okay, so this was my exit here. Actually, I'll still have my exit. So let me go ahead and create all of this. So we have conveyor tube and there no and a conveyor tube. So theoretically, if I look up, I will have about the same thing. Yes, I will. The problem there is that I am going to be that's my escape route. So I'm going to have to do that last. Tube, and there will be another tube there. 0 to turn that off. Alright. So what do we need here? We need a conveyor junction. Then a conveyor tube. Oh, damn it. I can just spin the wheel the correct direction. Alright. And then we need a conveyor tube there. Oh, damn it. Completely disoriented again. Alright. Working my way this way. So those are connected. Alright. So we need our scaffolding back in here. 2, 3. This comes down in a tube. And then a junction here. Alright, and then so there's a tube here, a junction, and junction. Except I'm in the way. Alright. And back to number 6 and 6, and a scaffolding. And then I make my great escape, and we have a 6 scaffolding and a scaffolding. Okay, so theoretically we have now interconnected this back portion with all 5 of these aft tanks. And of course, because these tanks are all end-to-end and connected side to side, then we have now connected everything conveyor system-wise all the way forward. Which leaves us to start the next refit in this section. So, with that, we know we have a plan, and we know where we're starting next time. So, with that, this is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we'll see you next time.